What's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? Welcome to my channel. Welcome, and you already know. And I got a special guest right here, man. And we collaborated, I think, sometime last year or something, and
Hmm.
he gonna bring. He gonna spit that game. He gonna spit that truth. We got Red Supreme TV. I've been following him for a minute. You dig what I'm saying? And he gonna spit it to you. And I'm gonna cut the bullshit, and I'm gonna come right here. All right. What's up, Red?
What's going on? What's going on? Just chilling.
Just chilling, man. It's good to see you, brother, man. Thank you for coming back on here, man. And man, man, I see you got a lot to say, man. I see you be spitting that, man. And
Yeah.
so how you doing, brother, man? You been doing good, bro?
Uh, yeah, doing good today, man. Doing good today, man. You know, can't complain, man. Can't complain, man. Everything's going good.
Yeah. So it's just some stuff I'm gonna ask you, man, and we're gonna just talk about, man. Look, even if you got some stuff to say that that I haven't asked you, let's spit it, man. My channel is very open. My channel is very diverse, and it's time to educate people that ain't woke, And
Yeah.
I'm here to educate. We here to educate over here, man. And man, it's a lot of stuff going on, man. And it's been like irritating my spirit what I've been looking at, man. Man, Bill Cosby is free, man. I hear this. People got their big, the different conversation about this, the different opinion about this, and my thing, why come out now with this? And this is Me Too and bullshit. So you already know what I'm getting at with it. Go ahead, Red. Had a dance flow.
Yeah, I know. I saw everything, man. I'm just glad he came home. I'm
Yeah.
glad he came home, man, because he sat there long enough. So I got to look into exactly what happened because I don't know what happened. As far as like why they released him, I don't know if it was new evidence or the case was just weak. I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm just glad the brother's home, though. I'm gonna say that. I'm glad he came home, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And from
man.
what I yeah, from what I've been seeing, right, you get a lot of you got these females. They come to your crib. They come to your crib and do the whole you dig, and then later on, 20 years later, they come out with it. 10 years later, they come out with it. It's like why now? They came up
yeah,
with this thing called the Me Too movement. Me Too,
yeah,
Me Too, and the feminazis. You know, they just want to
yeah,
tear down black men. And your take on that,
yeah.
man? The Me Too.
I think it should be. I think it should be a time and limitation on it. Like, if you don't report it within a certain amount of time, it should be thrown out instantly. I don't see why somebody should be able to come back 10 years later and say this happened to me. Well, if it was that traumatizing, you should have reported it when it happened.
Yeah.
So my thing is this: it should be a limitation on when somebody could accuse you of something. You know what I mean? Like years go by, it's like, come on, man, you shouldn't even be able to bring that up. That's just like, if we went to the police. See, this is why this is bullshit, bro. If we
Hmm.
file a let's just say something happened to us today, and we don't file it until Friday, they're gonna say, "Well, you full of shit. You waited too long."
Hmm.
And this could have been something that actually happened. But when it comes to a female, it don't matter. It could be 10, 15, 20 years later. If she say you done something to her, it's like, God damn, now you got to deal with all this, the media. You got to deal with, it's too much, man. It's too much, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's too much. You can't even just, I tell a lot of brothers now, you can't just be inviting broads to the crib like you did back in the day. Those days are over. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? All it takes, listen, all it takes is for you to have a simple misunderstanding. You didn't want to, she might have asked you for something and you said no. And she gonna think about all those times she gave you sex. And she's gonna convince herself that, well, he didn't do this, so I don't feel bad about saying this. And most of the time, the females be mad about some petty shit. And then they'll go around and say something to, mad at some petty shit, but to say something to ruin your whole life, you know. And that shit, I think this is my thing. If you make a false if you throw false charges on somebody, I think you should be thrown in jail, and that's the only way we're gonna eliminate this fake, all this fake rape, all this fake Me Too. If it's fake, if it's false, the person that's accusing need to go to jail because they are ruining men's lives with this crap, man.
Yep. And I think that the penalty should be just as hard as they do for the accuser. I think they should, I'm serious. They should crack down and set an example on the liars. Set an example.
I agree. I agree 100% because if you do that, then people will stop falsely accusing people because there'll be consequences for it. You know what I mean? Then we'll everybody would know who the real rapists are and who's who. Because right now, anybody can just say something and it'll stick because everybody want to see a black man go down. So now it's so messed up to the point to where you don't know. But like we said, if you started punishing these females for this, they wouldn't do it. You'll start to see people. See, right now, it's hard for us to sympathize for the real victims because we don't know who the real victims are because everybody's lying.
We don't. We don't. I mean, there's no legitimate proof that Bill Cosby really did this. I mean, come on now. Let's be real. Back in the days, people be like, Negroes be like, man, I'm going to get that woman drunk. And that's it. And if I get in my crib and she's sober as hell, and all of a sudden you get her drunk. Can I tell you something? You know what you're doing. If you having drinks with this Negro, whatever, you know this. So why now? Them people that was complaining, they freely came over there and kicked it with this Negro.
Yeah, man. And like you said, they got to put a stop to that because right now, if America really cared about the victims, they will punish the false accusers. Because how could we ever shed a light on the true victims when we're spending so much time, giving attention to these false accusers? You're taking away from the real victims when you give these false accusers all of this praise and light in the media. So now the people that has really suffered from the hands of these abusers, we don't know if it's true because you guys allow so many liars to come in. Mm-hmm. So now the people that's really been abused, they're not even getting the real support they deserve.
Yeah.
Because the market is so oversaturated with women that are lying.
Yep. And it is, and it ain't just Bill Cosby. I'm looking at the R. Kelly. I'm looking at Ron Jeremy, the porn star, the Negro that can get these beautiful women. He can get coochie whenever he want to, not saying he's innocent. But what I'm saying is, why now? Why now that they bringing up R. Kelly? Why now that they bringing up Ron Jeremy and Bill Cosby, etc. ECT, right there. Why now?
Yeah,
and we got to take a deep look with the feminist movement. We got to really do some investigation on that. They need to do investigation on that movement.
Yeah. And they don't see that just shows that they really don't care. They don't give a damn if it's false or not. If it can ruin a man's career, then, they're cool with it. The thing about it is anytime you have something like we have these females that lie on men, they have oversaturated the market. It's so many females that lie. Like I said, you don't know who's telling the truth. And when you don't know who's telling the truth, you can never support the real victims because you don't know who's telling the truth because there's too many damn liars. Like right now, you're a celebrity. And let's just say, on YouTube, you hear brothers talking about pump and dump, right? And I tell brothers all the time, you got to be careful with that because that could actually be dangerous. You pump and dump the wrong female, you're going to get Me Too. You know what I mean? And that's real talk. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say this to you fellas. You pump and dump the wrong female, you can actually get Me Too, brother. So you gotta be careful when it comes to the females that you sleep with because a lot of them feel like if they really like you and you brush them off and you don't accept their phone calls anymore, they get spiteful and those be the ones that come back to bite you.
Yes.
Yeah, those be the ones that come back to bite you, brother, because they feel like A lot of these females feel like they want to be a part of the team, and once they get pumped and dumped, then they say, okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna do something to hurt this nigga because he don't want me. He had sex with me and just threw me to the curb. So now let me do something to hurt him. And I think the law ought to do something for these females that are making these false allegations on brothers or whoever. Because when you do that, you got to think about it. Some of these prosecutors and judges, y'all got sons, you got family members that are men. And at some point, man, you got to stop this because you guys are allowing women to destroy men's lives and nothing's being done about it. Even when we find out they're lying, nothing's being done about it.
Yeah. It's an agenda behind all that.
Yeah. So, I tell brothers nowadays, man, you gotta think all that just trying to have sex with these different females, that shit is gonna come back to bite you because the laws are against us, man. You can't move like that no more, man. Every female ain't worthy of your time, and she damn sure ain't worthy of you sticking your penis in her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But like I said, man, but we gotta value ourselves, man. We're men, we like sex, but at the same time, these females are so scandalous nowadays, they don't even deserve our time, let alone our dicks. I promise you.
they don't, And I look what's going on with the beta males that's going on nowadays. The beta male,
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this: the beta males don't know how to be real men. And let's keep it real. Real men do real men shit. Real men are real men. Real men take care of their children. Real men is the one that show effort. Even if you can't take care of your children, spend some time with them. But then as soon as you be like, oh man, I really can't afford this week. I got to pay my rent. But they rather see the baby daddy be evicted. They rather see baby daddy be evicted and say he's a no good Negro, no good nigga, and he haven't bought this, I bought this, so they want to go with finance. There are men out there that don't spend time with their children, and they got money.
Yeah, but you know what? Like I tell brothers at the same time, I think I was speaking. I spoke about this with who I talked about this with. I spoke about a lot of black men that are married, right? That have good relationships.
Okay.
These brothers are afraid to share that because you got so many ignorant niggas that'll call them a simp. Now, we need to see more black men in healthy relationships. I don't give a damn if you got a black woman, a white woman, or whatever. If you got a woman that respects you and treats you like a king, that needs to be shown because we need to see black men being the leaders of their household and being respected. Now, that pump and dump is cool, right? I get it. But at the same time, we want to show brothers that have functioning relationships, brothers that can operate in healthy relationships. We need to show more of that because what I do notice about this space that we got to stop doing, we call a lot of brothers that are married he might be in a healthy relationship. Oh, he's a simp because he's married, or he's a simp because he's in a relationship. Some of this shit is just ridiculous, bro. And the word simp is being misused, man. It's just being misused.
Yeah. It's okay to have an understanding with your significant other. It's okay that y'all built a trust, and you can have. I have no problem with what you call it joint bank accounts if it's a trust there, because my mama have and my stepdad was talking about that. They've been married for like almost 50 years, and they had a trust with each other, and they still married right there. So but you let you get a woman your past. No, there's a trust thing, man. I mean, this is actually what it is. Don't you? Me personally, I don't believe in separate bank accounts. If you're marrying a woman, if you have trust with them, go ahead because I can get all over the place with this.
Yeah, but you know what? But it's so hard. Like, see, let's just say you have trust established with your woman, and that might work for you, right? Other men can't understand that because most men don't have a certain level of respect and understanding with their woman. So I tell brothers all the time, you got to do what works for you. Like what I do, might work for me. If that works for you, I can't knock you for doing what works for you, because you might have a better understanding with your woman than I have with mine. That might not work with me and my woman, but it works for you, and I'm going to salute you for doing what works. You know, that's how. See, and I said this too, brother. I don't, and like when it comes to, I don't police brothers for preference. I police brothers for simping. I don't give a damn what type of woman you got, white, black, green. As long as you're a man, that's the only thing that matters. You know what I mean? So, and as black men, we got to understand. You might find a guy that pump and dump, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that you got to pump and dump. He can give you some information that may be valuable for your relationship. So, I want brothers to understand. You might listen to a content creator. He might be at that particular point in his life where he might pump and dump. I just turned 40 years old. So at some point, you know,
I didn't know you put that on.
Yeah, I just turned 40 years old.
I'm almost 50.
Like a few days ago, last week I just turned 40.
I didn't know you was that old, dude. I said old, but I didn't know. I thought you was like your early 30s or something, bro.
A lot of people thought that, man, you know, but they was like, yeah, you 40. I'm like, I just turned 40, man. And with that being the case, man, I don't waste my time. Listen, I don't pump and dump because I realize problems come with that. So right now, I'm at the stage in my life where I look for quality women that I can build something solid with, because having sex with random scallywags ain't the business no more. You know, it's just not the business no more, man. And I value my time too much to be dealing with those low caliber females anyway. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So at some point, brothers, you got to stop being sexually driven. Operate off of logic. Use your mind to accomplish things, because being sexually driven has destroyed a lot of men, not just black men, men in general. You know, so it's too much going on out here, brothers. We got to focus on what's really important and what's going to get us ahead in life, because dealing with these females, trying to have random sex with different females is going to destroy you, brother. Because right now, you see the world we living in. They don't have no respect for men at all. So if they don't have no respect for men at all, they ain't got a problem throwing you under the bus, even if they got to tell a lie to do it, you know? Mm-hmm. So, brothers, you just got to realize and recognize that. Hey, I seen what was that? I think I was going to ask you. I seen you. I caught the end of it. I think you was on Tommy Sotomayor's panel.
Oh,
I want to ask you about that.
Dude, I will tell you what happened with this. Right? One of my guys, French Dose, and you know, he's always making videos about Tommy. And me, I'm cool with everybody, so I hit the link. And then as soon as I hit the link, I said, "Oh, they're gonna Tommy. Let me have a conversation with Tommy." I've been on his, you know, he had open panel before, so I hit the link and I saw Tommy up there, and I looked like, and then I saw him arguing with French Dose. They're going back and forth, and I was like, "What up, Tom? I'm just chilling, man. I ain't gonna lie, I'm high as hell." And then he said, Tommy, like, you know what? We need a moderator. I'm just talking shit. Like, I moderated, which I did. I stood there. I couldn't mute nobody. And Tommy put it on his shit. And I looked like a terrible moderator. His trolls came at me hard. Like, no. This guy ain't no moderator. I'm like, hold on. I didn't even know what the hell was going on. I came up and said, yeah, I'm going to moderate the conversation, but I couldn't mute nobody. And you know what? I got to a point. I said, forget it. I stood there and let them argue. So they came right at me.
Yeah.
You know? That's all that was about. It wasn't none. Tommy was more like clowning him, not me. It was more, but then, you know, his trolls.
Yeah, he was kind of, yeah. Yeah, I saw that. He was kind of talking to the guy, because he called my show. I did the show with, I remember that. I was talking about Kwame Brown. He called in the one time, and, you know, he was, Tommy all right, man. But I think, like, we're going to get back on topic. I think Tommy needs to go back to doing the content that he was doing, because I think now he's too focused on, you know, what other people are doing. But when Tommy was making his videos and his content, that's when he was at his best. And I think he needs to go back to focusing on what made people follow him in the first place.
Yeah, he gets very triggered, and he sees whatever YouTuber, he go right on. Why you talking about me, man? Why you talking about me? He don't care if you got 5 subscribers. He go hit that link and get over there.
Yeah, right. He gonna come over. He gonna come over and do it, man. But Yeah, man. Like I say, man, I like Tommy, man. But I just think he needs to focus on the content that people love, man. I wouldn't even worry about this petty shit, bro. But yeah, back to what we were saying though, man. But salute to all the brothers in this space, man. That drop content on a consistent basis, man. Because the content helps. Because most people don't even watch TV no more. They might watch a movie late at night when they lay down, but people ain't watching TV no more. They watching YouTube. So
Yep.
I appreciate all of the brothers, man. I feel like all of us gonna have something to say. Well, not all of us. You got some clowns on here, but for those of us that actually have something important to say, hey, man, keep pushing with the message. It's helping a lot of brothers, man, because I get emails all the time from females and brothers that tell me, hey, man, I've been listening to your content and I avoided a lot of bad situations just absorbing the content that you deliver on a daily basis. So, that right there makes me feel good because I was, this, bro. I was doing YouTube 2 years before I started accepting any cash apps or any donations.
I remember that.
Tell people
like 5 years.
yeah. So I tell people I'm genuine with this. I was doing this before it was any money in it because I had a passion to speak the truth before I started getting paid.
Yep. And then people ask like, "Why don't you put your cash app?" I said, "You know what? I don't want to make it look like I'm begging or something." So cause I see people, oh, he's a panhandler. He begging, and so I didn't want to deal with that shit. I just want
to get your money. Get your money. Fuck them. Hey, listen, bro. You got to understand. People are gonna say whatever to discourage you, man. Yep. These politicians accept donations. What do we look like not accepting? You know what I mean? Contributions for our work that we do on a daily basis, man. So I thought the same way. And that's the reason why, hey, you know what, brother? It took me a long time to get a cash app for that reason right there. But I thought about it. I'm like, you know what the hell? But after a while, I was like, you know what? This YouTube is a business. And I started seeing how business worked. Then I was like, man, I'm blocking that out. Y'all niggas can stay broke and say whatever. I'm going to continue to do business. You can say whatever you want. But guess what? I'm going to continue to do business. And you're going to tune in because you like what you hear. So stop it.
Yep.
So yeah, man.
When I started, a lot of the money, and I tell people that I take that money, give me a new microphone. Some people told me your mic sound like shit. So I went and got a $150 microphone. My baby right there got it for me, and we ordered it. I said, you know what? I'm starting to upgrade. So it's an investment. It's an investment.
Yeah, it is.
And plus, I think someone got to give me a 6-pack too. Because I need to drink dinner with a lot of you motherfuckers over here.
Yeah, man. I had to, man. I got tired of, I was on the cell phone forever, man. And I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and set up. But I gotta get them to fix this internet, man, because when I be live, man, on my laptop, I'm getting a lot of lag. So it's like, and right now I'm on my cell phone. I'm not even on my Wi-Fi in the house. I'm on my cell phone Wi-Fi. And the cell phone Wi-Fi seems to be working better than the Wi-Fi in the house. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like I say, I've been having a problem with this internet for a week now anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, it's definitely worth it, man. I started, buying stuff to add value to the channel. Because when your subscribers see you buying microphones and taking the business serious, they start to take you more serious. You know what I mean? Yep. So my advice to anybody, man, don't take long like me. If you can get some equipment, my thing is this. I will say build a fan base because you got a lot of guys. Listen, bro, I got a homeboy that wanted to do YouTube, right? This dude didn't make not one video, no introduction. He immediately started live streaming. I'm like, brother, I said pre-recorded videos is going to build your fan base. You can't just get equipment, go live. Nobody's going to watch. You got to put out pre-recorded videos to build your fan base, then go live.
Exactly.
So that's the advice I was given. To one of my young. He was like, man, I want to become a YouTuber. I'm like, well, first, man, why would people support you? They don't know who you are. You need to do an intro video. Let people know who you are. Tell them where you from. Tell them what you about. And then from there, people will gravitate to you if they like what you're talking about. So, you know, I was giving him that advice, but this fool didn't. Hey man, this dude haven't made one video, and soon as he created a YouTube channel, he went live. I was like, man, come on,
you gonna be like one person, people, you know. I mean, for real, you gonna be like, why are they growing? No, you gotta come with a rant video, do something that you're passionate about. Because I'm gonna tell you, my first, I did a viral video. I had 100 subscribers, and I did one video. I was emotional. Someone was shooting outside, and I ducked down. And I was pissed, and I said, "Dear Black Lives Matter, protest in the hood. I'm tired of y'all. Y'all protesting against white people, protesting against these thugs that's killing each other, that's killing babies over here." I snapped for like 8 minutes. All of a sudden, I got 5,000 subscribers in a week, and I wasn't even trying to do it.
Right. You
like,
was passionate about that. Yeah. You was passionate about a subject, and people that watched it felt that passion. So they was like, I'm going to subscribe because it was genuine. So that's my advice to my cousin. They want to start channels, but I'm like, you got to be able to connect with the people. You can't just go live. You got to connect with the people first, you know? So, you know, he understand it now. But I'm like, yeah, you got to make that connection. But I want to go back to what you were saying, man. I'm sick of this marching. Like, okay, when police do something, fine, we get it. That happens. But you know what happens more often? Like you said, these babies dying, you know, brothers killing brothers. You just had out here in LA last night, a young brother got killed for crossing out Nipsey Hussle's mural. Dumb nigga, man. Youngsters went and wrote on Nipsey Hussle's mural and recorded himself and put it on Instagram. Just foolish stuff, man. And like you, yeah. The nigga, he went up to Nipsey Hussle's mural, wrote on it, put his gang up there, wrote his hood name on there, and recorded it on Instagram. And I don't know why he got killed last night. He was, matter of fact, when you get time, look at Indian, what's the dude name? Indian Red from Inglewood. He got killed live on IG.
I'm gonna check that out.
He was live on he was live on Instagram. He got killed live on Instagram, bro. This was last night. But it all goes back to what we said, that the ignorant gang mentality, man. At some point, we got to grow out of that. And we're not marching when these babies get killed. We're not marching when these children die. We're marching when niggas that already, listen, I respect life, right? But when these gangbangers die, they chose that lifestyle, right? But it really hurts me when I see people die who had nothing to do with that lifestyle. Yes. These children and babies. And if black people cared about black children, surely they'll march for the babies, but they're not doing that. We're not marching for the babies. We're marching for criminals, but we're not marching for the children. That's crazy.
Man.
Like, what's the little girl that got killed? She got killed. Wasn't no march for that, but you know, same thing in LA.
It's not. No,
yeah, man. So how do we expect to be taken seriously? This is what I'm saying. How do we expect to be taken seriously and we're crying racism, but we don't march when these babies die by the hands of thugs? That's retarded. If we're really going to make a statement, we really need to make a statement when these babies die, because the babies are the future. So how could we be taken serious when we're not even marching when the babies die? It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't get mad. Like I say, brother, you get money, you lead a community. There is no community, man. It's just a bunch of people occupying space. A real community is where people have unity. You can't call it a black community. You can't even call it a community. It's just a place where people occupy space. That's it. There's no unity there, so you can't even call it a community.
Yep.
I mean, that's my take on it, man. It's crazy.
And I look at like in my time, we didn't do all that. Yeah, we were fucked up back then. We were, but we didn't do all that. If we seen a nigga that we didn't like, we see him with a baby in their hand, like, no, dude, he got a shorty with him. Let it go.
Right.
We gave people pass. They don't give pass. They'll shoot you and a baby now. Even though they're not the baby, but they will just splatter right there.
Yeah. And shit like that made me give street life up. Like once I realized there were no honor and respect and no codes, I gave up. I walked away. I'm like, I can't be a part of something that's not logical. You know what I mean? It's like we chose this life to do what we gonna do, but why are we getting babies and innocent people involved? And that right there, you can't get mad when they start handing out time. When you're willing to target innocent children and civilians with no remorse, you can't get mad when gang members start getting 50 and 60 years. You can't call it racism at that point, because if you're going to sit up here and execute your own people without a care in the world, nobody's marching for it. Why do we get mad when the system throw the book at niggas? You really can't. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, Black Lives Matter, I get it. But at the same time, if Black lives really matter, surely we'll be marching for the children and civilians that are dying due to the hands of these, I ain't even gonna say it, but you already know who's doing this. You already know who's doing all the, all this foolish shit in the community, man. And we're not giving the right shit attention. Like George Floyd, that was cool. It's so many babies that's been killed. And the story, most of the time, the story don't even get coverage, man.
Yeah.
And
we not like, the thing is, you from LA, I'm from Chicago, and I openly tell people that I've been beaten by cops in Chicago from not saying yes, sir. They would drop you off in me, I got a GD tattoo right here. I had my shirt off. They would drop me off in Latin King and they were Vice Lord neighborhood. They do that when you don't, when you don't do what they want you to do. And I'm pretty I heard something that did in LA with the Crips and Blood.
Same thing, same shit. Same shit, man. They'll drop you off where they know you're gonna get a hard time. They're like, I ain't got to put my hands on you. I just drop you off over here. They'll do it. So, I mean, as of lately, it's gotten better because of the cameras. So it's like it was really popping like that in the 90s. Like in the 90s, that was real. It was a common thing in the 90s for you to get dropped off in the opposite neighborhood. Now, what they're kind of doing now in LA, they got a lot of gang laws to where if we catch a certain group of people, we can. But now what they're trying to do is they're trying to get rid of those gang enhancements. But I'll tell you this, gang enhancements did slow crime down in LA because it made it to where if you were a gang member and you got caught with other known gang members, you would get time for that, including time for the weapon. So they was handing out so much time to where it damn near cleaned up the streets of LA. Because you was getting time just by hanging out with other gang members. Like if I'm a gang member, you a known gang member, and we hang out in a public place, they was giving brothers time for that. So that alone kind of cleaned up the streets. You know what I mean? You couldn't congregate with 3 or more gang members. That was considered a crime. You would go
in
to
Chicago, they call it mob action. There was a crime called mob action in Chicago. They see you walking 3 deep, that's mob action.
Oh, okay. See?
Yeah. I'm 17 days in Chicago. I remember that very well. Mob action, and it was wild, man. It's like, damn, man, mob action. You just couldn't do it. But it got to a point that they would drop me. Sometimes they drop me off in different neighborhoods, and the other opposition gang saw that. You know what? I ain't even on this, man. Just walk home, man. But they already know, they gonna know we did it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the internet is a good thing, man. It's a good thing and a bad thing, depending on what you use it for. If you use it for business, then you can actually make something happen. But like I said, the youngsters, unfortunately, they're using it for the wrong, for all of the wrong things, like disrespecting other gangs. And like I told you, the dude died yesterday for disrespecting the dead. Like, young people now have no morals. They have no codes. And they're so disconnected from the older generation. It's damn near nothing you can say to them. You know what I mean? It's damn near nothing. Like, I hear people talking about mentor, but this new generation is so far gone. It's nothing you're going to say to them.
It is.
It's nothing.
Nothing.
I got, because listen, I got nephews that are 21, and trust me, them dudes are so far gone, so disconnected from, our roots and where we come from and the struggle. It's no point in saying anything. Life got to teach them.
You talk about the skinny jeans.
Yeah,
right?
Life got to teach them, man. I try to drop jewels here and there, but even like the young females and the young brothers, a few of them get it, but for the most part, this generation is lost, man.
Yeah.
There's no leaders, there's no morality, nobody
Mhm.
live by any codes. It's just do whatever you want to do at any given moment, you know. And
Yeah. I
that's what's going on in our community. There's no structure, there's no unity,
Yep.
so you can't even call it a community.
Yep. And look, even when we had structure back then, it was crazy. Some OG, and I'm gonna say this: my pops, OG, rest in peace. He's OG GD, and he's to tell me like, don't move on because of your opposition. And he'll tell me that. I said, he said, why you finna whoop his ass? I said, because he's a vice lord. He said, you should be moving on. He told me because he learned. They learned. They get on us. Don't whoop them because they're opposition. Don't want to shoot them just because they're opposition. And now I see that more. Like, you know what? And that's a fact.
Yeah, it kind of got like that in LA too. See, it was a time in LA where a Crip and a Blood, they couldn't, even if it was for business, it was like you couldn't even come together for business. It was bad. It was like now it's way better. You got a guy that's a Crip and a Blood. If they're not direct enemies, they can be cordial and be cool with each other. But in the 90s, it wasn't like that. It was like if you was opposition, it was on site. There was no talking. It was nothing. Now, I will say there's a lot of progress has been made because you have guys that are from both sides that can actually sit down and talk without it being violent. You know what I mean? And, so I can actually say black men in LA have came a long way because in the 90s, there's no way you were sitting down with a guy that was a blue rag or a red rag. It wasn't happening. You know what I mean? Nowadays, it's like a lot of guys have pushed a lot of that to the side. If there's no direct beef with that particular gang or individual, you got a lot of brothers that'll sit down and chop it up to do business now. And that's a beautiful thing for the city. It wasn't like that.
You know what? It brings me back. I knew this one dude that was from LA. His name was Rico. I never forget him. He moved to North Side Chicago, and he was telling me about the county jails in Chicago and LA. He was recently in Chicago, Cook County Jail. And he said in LA, they lock you up if you're a Crip, they lock you up with the Crips. If you're Blood, they lock you up with the Blood. Chicago, we kind of organized ourselves. It was more like, we organized our own self in there, and that's the way it was. And stuff like, what? They locked y'all up with the Bloods? If you're a Blood,
Yeah. Well, see, you can request, they have general population, and general population, you got Bloods and Crips there. But you can request to go to a Blood module or a Crip module,
Okay.
And a lot of guys do that. Like they'll get there, and if the deputy say, where you from? And you tell them you a Blood, then they'll send you to the or they send you to the Crip. But if you just go in there and you don't mention nothing, they'll just throw you in GP. And when you go to GP, everybody's in there. Everybody's pretty much in GP. Yeah, but California is racial, man. It's racial, man. You them jails in California, man, it's like the gang. I mean, it's still gang banging in LA County and the county jail, but a lot of times the shit goes to the side because it'd be a lot of drama with Mexicans in the California system. So the Blood and Crip shit goes out of the window and it becomes racial. It becomes blacks against Mexicans and shit like that. Yeah. So I mean, you got in Chicago, y'all got a better relationship with the Mexicans than we do in LA. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Chicago's more like folks and people, man. You got the SGDs with the GDs and Kings with the Vice Lords. There's Simon City Royals with the GDs and the Gaylords with the Vice Lords. It's more like I'm talking about. I was locked up with niggas with Nazi signs, swastikas on their arm, and then folks. And Hoover made a deal with a lot of them people.
See, it ain't like that in California, man. Everything is racial. It's like it's pretty much everybody against the black man. The whites and the Mexicans team up against us in California. So Bloods and Crips got to come together to fight the whites and the Mexicans.
Man.
See what I'm saying? And, everybody against the black man. So it's really gotten to the point in California. I'm like, well, what's the point in banging in the street? When you go to prison, you got to fight white boys and Mexicans. So what's the point in the gang? So it all goes back to being black. The blue and red shit is retarded because it all goes to racial. You're going to do all this killing and go to war with your people on the streets, just to unite with a guy that you were shooting at when you go to prison. So when you think about that mindset, that's a retarded mindset. Kill your brother on the street, but unite with him in prison against other races. Like, come on, man. That's another reason why I left street life alone in California. It's so much shit now that's dumb that makes no sense. I can't participate in it. It's too dumb.
It don't make no sense, you know. And I openly admit to people, like when I was locked up, you know, fighting this case for like 9 months in Cook County Jail, and not one of my folks visited me, not one.
Yeah.
And the guy who visited me was a vice lord. That's my sister's baby daddy. He was an unknown vice lord. He visited me every week, and that was it. Not one. Then I get out. You know, there was a lot of underhand stuff going on. They violate you. I've been in some bogus shit when I was locked up in county jail. They want to violate you or some bogus. You know, I started seeing things. Let me get the hell out of here, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And I spoke on that too, brother. I think it was earlier, man. And somebody asked me about, like, you know, gang, like, because a matter of fact, I covered the Hassan Campbell versus Kwame Brown. And Hassan Campbell was talking. And matter of fact, that's what made me bring up this street issue, because Hassan Campbell was talking about, oh, he's from the streets. He grew up this way. He did this and blah, blah, blah. And I was saying to myself, I'm like, there's no point in street gangs no more, because the gangs that exist today don't stand for what the gangs originally stood for. So now it really serves no purpose. They're not standing for what the gang originally stood for. Nope. They're just like, now, it's the same in Chicago, just like LA. You got Crips killing Crips, you got Bloods killing Bloods. So what's the fucking point? Mm-hmm. What's the point? So it's like, none of these gangs stand for what they originally stood for. There's no purpose in being in them no more. It's really not. Mm-hmm. They serve zero purpose. The only purpose they serve now is death and destruction. That's it. It don't serve nothing logical. You got guys that's in the same gang that will kill each other. It is like, you in the same gang.
Hey,
why is it a gang if like, what's the purpose in a gang if it has no structure and you got people from the same gang that's taking each other out? That got to be the dumbest shit in the world.
Yep, exactly. They became, I heard that LA got that certain word too, that Chicago has, called EBK. Everybody.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about, man. I be seeing GDs, Chicago, we EBK, everybody killer. Them GDs over there are gonna get smoked over there. Maniac Latin disciples, they yelling GDK over there, like, what the hell? Hold on. We first cousins. They first cousins.
Right. How did that happen? Huh? Yeah, I know. It's like there's no loyalty. Like, now, I will say this. It's rare, like, Bloods don't fight each other as much as Crips do. It's rare, but you do have certain blood sets that go at each other. But it's a common thing for Crips to kill Crips. That's been common for a while. Bloods have always had more structure than Crips, because for a long time it was an unwritten law that Bloods don't kill Bloods. But as of lately, that structure has been lost as well, because you got a lot of blood sets that are going at each other too. So the whole structure in the gang, like I say, they don't stand for what they originally stood for. So there's no purpose of getting in it. Like, it really, like, being in a gang, actually, it serves no purpose now, none at all.
It don't.
The rap music, but unfortunately, like, the rap music glorifies it, and you got a lot of young kids that want to be a part of something because of the rap music. And I said this, Maurice, I said the Black community is not going to change until the culture changes, because the culture has a way of influencing the children, and they're using rap to influence the children. So until the culture change, I don't see the Black community getting no better.
No.
I see it getting worse.
Yeah.
I don't see it getting no better.
It's the culture, you know. You got the next generation coming up, you know, and it's crazy, you know. And we talked about this 10 years ago. In Chicago, it said ain't gonna be no more people than folks. I mean, you got county jail, you got folks people, then you got against the grain. You can come there and be
about that.
Yeah, ATGs. We're like, hold on.
I heard about that. Yeah.
You know, it was more like folks, people, and neutrons. If you're a neutron, you ain't in a gang, you get no respect. Plain and simple. That's ATGs. You got vice lords and Latin King, everybody teaming up because they all snitched and turned state's evidence.
Yeah. See, they got that in California too. They got the dropout gangs. They got these
Okay.
gangs. It's pretty much see the you got the same thing going on in LA, Chicago. They just call it different names.
Yeah, call
It's
it
called
different.
yeah, it's called ATG in Chicago and California. You got these where it's a yard full of guys that didn't want to politic with the rules no more. So they put all those guys on a separate yard. They're basically against the grain. They don't call it that, but that's what they're doing. Everybody on that particular yard is against original gang politics. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
yeah.
Some of them snitch. You got some of those guys snitch, and that's why they own those yards. But then you have some guys, they didn't snitch or tell. They just didn't want nothing to do with the gang politics no more. So they decided to drop out. So you got a lot of guys like that as well. They felt like the gang politics were foolish, and they felt like not
Yeah.
living by those politics, they can do time a whole lot easier. So they'll drop out of their gangs and go to those yards like that.
Yeah.
But the hey man, but like I told you, bro, the street life, it got so dumb, man. I left a long time ago, man. Once it quit
Yeah.
making sense, I left it alone.
Yeah. Left it
You know,
alone. So you know what, man? Let me go ahead and make my money, whatever. Let me start over. Let me go ahead and take care of my shorty. And you get tired, man. And look,
yeah,
I don't know if you saw Gangland, right? The Mayor Led Disciple. This one lady named Loca D for the Maniacs.
yeah, I
And
saw that.
yeah, I actually knew her. She used to be SGD. We were young. We damn near the same age. And she said it right there when she went over there and said maniac, throwing up forks and stuff, man. Went up there and said, yeah, I fucked them and I killed them. And then she realized, like, about months later, like, hey, I'm about to face life in prison. Like, what the hell? Then she said none of them came, not one came to visit her. Not
I
one.
know, I know. You know what? I was watching her story. I was watching her
Oh, yeah, yeah. Her
story,
story.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to her story. And from then she realized she dedicated her life for
Yep.
something that didn't give a damn about her. And then you
Mhm.
start to reevaluate, like, whoa, all of that loyalty, all of that pride for something that does nothing for you in return. And, I talk about gang stuff from time to time on my channel because I know that the youth they're influenced by this. So if I can tell them the reality of gang life and there's no loyalty in it and there's nothing to look forward to, your
Mhm.
family, I tell brothers all the time, when you go to jail or prison, the gang ain't sending you money. Your family, they're going to be the ones sending money. And you
Yep.
got to think about it. You
Yep.
mean to tell me a group of guys that I risk my life and freedom for, they're not going to financially support if I get in the jam? What's the purpose of even banging this shit? You're not going to get support from the people that you're risking your life for. It makes
Yep.
absolutely no sense. If you in the gang in 2021, you're just dumb as hell now. Because one thing I will say back in the 90s, I'm not saying that it was super structured, but you did have a group of guys that will look out for each other. You had it might not be the whole gang, but you had cliques within the gang and they looked out for each other. That shit don't exist no more.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
go to jail now, it's every man for himself. And if it's every man for himself, why risk your life for a gang that ain't got nothing for you?
Yep. Look, I'm locked up. No one sent me nothing. They had a po box. Always had cigarettes. Always had squares. Always, I had everything.
Yeah.
Had my condoms, had my dip sandwiches. That's Chicago thing. The dip sandwiches. With the buddy meat, and we just put Kool-Aid in it. That's another story.
Yeah, man. But like right now, I'm waking a lot of brothers up. I'm like, because right
Right.
now we need to put our time, like being in the gang right now is like I'll say this about LA. A lot of those black neighborhoods in LA, they're not going to be there 10, 15 years from now because the black population in LA has decreased drastically. And every year
I heard.
blacks are losing their population in California for many reasons. For one, it's too high to live there. And
Yeah.
there's nothing really there for you because you're paying high rent and you're living just to survive there. And a
Yep.
lot of people are deciding to pack up and move. So I'll say this, the black neighborhoods in LA will be pretty non-existent in another 20 years because if you go to some of those neighborhoods now, it's like you got a few people there, but it's nah. California, let me say this. California is getting rid of their black population on purpose, and they're using high rent as one. That's one of many ways to get rid of brothers. Make high rent. But yeah, California is losing its black population, man, for real. In large numbers.
They protected illegals out there, man. You know, from what I see, I know some people in LA, and
yeah,
I mean they protecting illegals. I heard Compton is Mexican.
Yes, because look, Compton went from white, black to Mexican. See, now it's like, I'll say Compton is probably like 60% Mexican and maybe like 40% black. Whoa. You know what I mean? But it was once like I say, in the 50s, Compton was white. And then in the 60s, like when the Watch riots happened, the whites left Compton and went and it became black. But then like over time, as the illegals came, it started becoming more Mexican because all the illegals coming in there. You know what I mean? So you gonna go to Compton, like there's neighborhoods in Compton that was all black that are all Mexican now, because so many blacks have sold their houses and moved out, and the Mexicans look. Anytime you have a black family move out of a home, Mexican family move in there. So all those blacks that sold their homes in Compton, they are pretty much occupied by Mexicans now.
Yeah.
A lot of blacks sold their homes in the 90s. Some of those they were tricked into, they offered them money because they knew how much those homes would be worth, like, today. So a lot of those people were tricked into selling their homes, man. And unfortunately, Compton has lost the majority of their black population. I'll take that back. I'll say Compton is probably 35% black and 65% Mexican. You know what I mean? I kid you not. Probably 35% black.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. So I wouldn't even give it 40%. I'll say it's about like 35% now.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, that's how much it's changed over the years.
Look, black people got a house. There's about 5 people living in that motherfucker, right? And then Mexican people there, they moved about 15 people up in there. Come on now. They overpopulated. I mean, it is what it is. Studio apartment.
And they can pay the rent. And they can afford the rent because there's so many of them.
Studio apartment. We like good times. Got 3-4 people up in the studio apartment. We make a room over there. But they'll put 20 people in that studio apartment.
Yeah.
It is what it is, Jack.
Yeah. So, and they occupy, like you said, like they'll move 6 people in there to pay that rent. Blacks, you can't put 6 grown black people to live in no house together. Hell no, that ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? But Mexicans, you can put 6 grown up, you can take the mother, the father, the aunt, the uncle, and the cousins. Mexicans gonna make it work. You can't put that many black people in the same room. It's gonna be problems.
I can't be mad at the Mexicans. I ain't mad at you. You making it work.
Yeah. I ain't mad at them either, man. I tell brothers all the time, like a lot of brothers know, oh man, these Mexicans is taking up. I'm like, brother, when we had the community, these neighborhoods were in the 70s, 80s, these neighborhoods were black. We didn't do nothing with it. We didn't, we sold the houses and we didn't buy no businesses. And the Mexicans came and pretty much started up, took off where we left. So you can't get mad. All they did was take advantage of the opportunities that we left. That's it. Those neighborhoods were black. We didn't put no chicken shops there. We didn't put no tire shop. Mexicans were smart enough to put taco shops and tire shops there. So now, not only will they put 6 people in a house to pay that rent, they're going to start a business in that community as well. And that's something that we don't do as black people. None of those drug dealers in Compton in the 80s put businesses there in those communities.
Right.
None of them. So when you think about those communities not being black, it's our fault. We didn't buy the community. All we did was gangbang, kill each other, and the Mexicans came in and bought the houses that we sold, or nigga died, left. The Mexicans came and took it over because, truth to be told, all we did was kill each other up, bro. And the Mexicans came in and just was like, okay, we're going to buy this house. We'll buy this house. And they're not rich. They just know how to work together. You put a few of them, they'll put their money together and start a taco shop down the street. They'll put some more money together and buy a house and put a family in that house, move that family out, move another family and get paid, they think. And like I say, I'm not mad at them, man. We didn't take advantage of the opportunities in those communities, and it's our fault. It's sad what happened to Compton, man. Like Compton damn near look like Mexico now, man.
Damn. The new Mexico.
Yeah. So it is what it is, man.
Yeah. Whoa, it is what it is, man. I'm just like, wow, these Mexicans, man. I mean, it's the same way with the Chinese. You know, I had a homie. He's an Asian dude. I was a teenager. I came to this crib for the weekend. They had bunk beds in the damn kitchen. Bunk beds in the kitchen. They playing Atari and all that. The whole family. Grandma over there. And look, they made room for me to stay tonight. Look, he was right here. He had a mattress. They brought out a mattress for me. We were kicking it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy, man. But yeah, we didn't take advantage of because those neighborhoods were booming in the 70s, even in the 80s,
Yeah.
and we didn't do nothing, man. The moment, listen, when the Mexicans started coming to Compton, they started buying taco shops and tire shops immediately. And you think about blacks that were there before them that never put anything there, never put anything there. And, so, I mean, we have ourselves to blame. You know what I mean? Even the hustlers that were making money, they didn't take nothing and they didn't buy no businesses there. But those Mexicans, when they come to California, they be hustling too. They're just more low key about it, and they're smart enough to start businesses.
Yep.
So they can actually afford to stay there because they'll have a house and they'll move a family in there, and then they'll start a business where they can go work at. The uncle might have a construction company and he hire all of the people that come from Mexico. So when they come from Mexico, they put them to work instantly. The moment they come up, like it was a house on my block, right? Back in the day. And it was a Mexican cat. He had a van. Every 2 weeks, he would go to Mexico to pick illegals up and bring them back. And when he brought them back, he had them work for his shop. So basically he was getting slave labor at his business because he was picking illegals up from Mexico and telling them, hey, I'll bring you to America, but you got to work at this business for this price. So basically, he was just getting pretty much slave labor, man, pretty much slave labor. Those people were so happy to be in America, they would do whatever he want. And every 2 weeks, he would bring a new group of immigrants to work at that business. And some of them would get better jobs, and then he would move some more in. It was just like a rotation.
And
it was it was.
I just don't understand, see, we ain't sticking together. I'm not talking about me and you, but you know what I'm saying when I say we not sticking together. We not saying, you know what, let's stop hating on people's success, and collaborate. And black people really don't collaborate. Mexicans collaborate, Asians collaborate, the Jewish people, they collaborate. We're really not collaborating.
Yeah, that's
we want to talk about black issues.
Yeah, that's the hard. And even on Snowfall, man, like that movie called Snowfall about LA on FX. Free Ray Rick was telling brothers like, man, y'all brothers want to do all this killing. Do you know if we put our money together, we can buy up this city? But see, due to the lack of unity, they couldn't see the bigger picture. It's like we got all this money coming in. You want to kill him, he want to kill you. Pretty soon you're going to be gone. Outsiders going to come in and buy the community. But he couldn't get brothers to see the bigger picture. He was trying to tell brothers that were hustling. It was like, why are we doing this killing? We're making life-saving money. We could actually come together and do some legit shit. But the hardest thing to do with black people is to come together, man. Even if you got something that'll be beneficial, it's still It could be something that's gonna save these niggas' lives. They still ain't gonna do it. That's the sad part about it, man. But like I said, I ain't trying to save the world. As long as I can reach the people that are reachable, I'm good. I understand that, hey, brother, you can't save the world. There's only a chosen few that are willing to take heed to what's being said. Only a chosen few.
Many are called and few are chosen.
I'm not trying to say the black, and to be real with you, I'm not trying to say the black community because you wasting your time. So when I see guys talking about the black, that's cool. I got love, but you're wasting your time. You're not going to get anything out of trying to save the black community. All you can do is save your family and your loved ones, man. The black community is done. I'm just keeping it a buck. The only way the black community will get better is if the culture changes. And I don't see it changing. I see the culture getting worse.
Because they're being pandered.
You know?
The black community is being pandered, and they don't see this, which goes back to feminism, being pandered. Like they tap them on the head, you be good nigga right here. Okay, look at this, you've been oppressed. We gonna kneel to Black Lives Matter. Most Black Lives Matter, most BLM are white. I've been at these rallies. I've been to these pro-Trump rallies. I've been over there and watching them, you know, and I've seen this and like, no, y'all, I'm done. You know, it's time to just plan.
I like I said, I never saw the point. My thing is like all you can do is just save your family, man, and your loved ones, man. You know, the pro-black thing is a hustle because a lot of those guys, they don't really believe in it. And they know that black people are so far gone, but they're just preaching to make money, man. My thing is this. It's a waste of time trying to save the black community. If we're not going to change the culture, it's a waste of time. Because what are kids influenced by? Rap, what's on in the media. If we can't change the culture, it don't matter. Because influence, when it comes to black children and what they're influenced by, that's everything, man. That's everything. So if the culture don't change, hey man, I see things getting worse. And I'm not wasting my time trying to save the community. I'm done with that. I used to think like, okay, man, we're gonna help black people. No, you can help individuals, but you can't help black people as a collective. Yeah. You know, that's my take on it, my brother.
I mean, I feel you know, like when I recently went to Inglewood, Chicago, and I just let them see my actions. Action speaks louder than words. And they come to me and said, "You're the first activist that ever came to Inglewood in a while, because the only time activists come to Inglewood only when it's voting time." And believe it or not, a lot of them are not you know talking about woke. They really don't pay attention what really goes on out here, man. It's sad, you know. It's really sad. And get the point. Just plant a seed. Just show by your actions. Your actions speaks louder than your words, and that's it. Because I used to try to come with words. You need to do this. You know what? Show by your actions, right there. That's the best way to do it, man. You know what I mean? Lead by the actions, man. And if people, if you can't follow a good example, then you're just a dummy. You know what I mean? And you know, if you lead by a good example and they can't follow that, then they're just a bunch of dummies, man. But like I said, my channel was for like-minded individuals. I'm not trying to save the black community. I'm not here to tell black men you need to be with a black queen or whatever. If that's your preference, fine. Listen, I don't police brothers for their preference. I do tell brothers to stop simping. But your preference is your preference, bro. That's how I rock. I'm not gonna tell you to look for a certain thing that doesn't exist. You know, a woman for you like that, you might not ever find a woman like that. You know, the woman from you might be of a whole nother ethnicity or from a whole nother culture. So if I'm telling you to look for that, hey man, I might be hurting you because you're looking for something that doesn't exist. So brothers, I'm gonna say this again. I don't police brothers for their preference. I police the simping, but not the preference. Right on. And we're at the top of the hour right now. You know, we're trying to do the hour tops, you know, but you keep going with it you want to. You know, we're at the top of the hour right now.
I gotta go make this run, man. You know what I mean? That's why I was like, it's like what time? 9:16. Yeah, I gotta make this run and then.
Everybody else, man, his link is in the description box right there. Red Supreme TV right there, TV One, and go ahead and subscribe with it, man. He be spitting that shit. You dig? And,
I'm gonna bring you to my channel too, though. I want to bring you to my channel one. Right. Probably like we gonna collab back like I say, like in another week we can put something else together, man. Because I figure like we can cover more topics, man. You know a lot about Chicago. Because a lot of people that listen to me want to know more about Chicago street stuff too.
Yeah. So, look, I'm almost 50 years old, so I've been around.
I'm 49. You know, right? See, so you know the structure and the history of what things originally stood for. You know what I mean? You understand that. So I think that'd be some good history. We can talk about like political issues, what made brothers turn to the streets, why these organizations started. I want to cover all of that next time we do, an interview. You know what I'm saying?
Right on,
Cover
man.
all of that. What led, like in LA, like what led to this organization started, what black people were going through that led them to start joining gangs. I want to cover all of that.
Yeah. Let's do this, brother. And
Yeah.
hey, thank you
So
for
I'm
coming up here,
okay. Well, I'm gonna email you again, brother. We can make it happen in about another week. Like whenever you get when's your next off day?
I'm off like Tuesday and Wednesday.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be gone this week. Probably like next week or something. Probably like in another week. I gotta get ready. I'm gonna leave town for a couple of days, but I'll be back. But yeah, I definitely want to cover that, man. I want to talk about see, one thing I know about LA is like you had the Black Panther movement. Then after that, then the Crips and Bloods emerged. But see, you had gangs in LA before Crips and Bloods. Before the Crips and Bloods was around, you had gangs. But then those gangs kind of faded away, and a lot of those guys joined the Black Panther movement. And when the FBI destroyed the Black Panther movement, then the Crips and Bloods emerged. So I want to get into that because that's some real history, man. Because before that, prior to that, I think the Bloods and Crips, man, that right there, the mentality was just like self-destructive. It turned the whole city. We went from being united as a city to being Black Panthers to divided. So that just shows you that was a government plan. Every neighborhood went from being together to against each other once the Crips and Bloods emerged.
Yeah. My dad was a Black Panther, and and then with the GDs, and they wasn't banging. It was more like really organized, and I mean working in a political movement. I mean real shit, man. They weren't even banging. GDs wasn't banging in the first place. It was like Black Panther. The Vice Lord didn't even start off like that. And we're gonna talk about that, when we get a chance. But man,
we're gonna go into that. We're gonna go into that.
Huh?
We're gonna go into that, man. And what I like about Chicago, you guys had a little bit more organization than we did in LA. Like the Crips and Bloods was kind of just like thugging. The Vice Lords and the GDs, you guys had literature, you guys had codes. And
I was a literature coordinator in the county jail.
Yeah.
I taught literature like this.
Yeah.
And I still know that. It made me the man I am now. It actually got me out when I learned the literature. That Larry Hoover.
Yeah, man. And that right there, and that's why they blocked that brother up, man, because they was like, well, shit. If he can get these brothers like structured like that, what happens when he decides to get them on something positive? So that was scary to the feds right there.
And so
you know what I mean?
If you watch American Gangster on BET with the Larry Hoover story.
Yeah. I watched the Larry Hoover story.
Yeah. Melvin Delk is my dad. He was the one he spoke like 4 times. That's my dad, Melvin Delk.
Oh, okay.
I'm Melvin Delk's son. Okay.
So they gonna love it, man. Listen, the next one we do, we gonna love it, man. We'll get into like what led, like how there was a lot of unity in LA, and then the Panthers broke up. Like even the Crips were all together. See, look, everything Black that came together got destroyed. See, the Crips came like before the Bloods, and the Bloods basically formed because they didn't want to become Crips. It was basically like an anti-Crip movement. That's why the Bloods formed. But when the Crips first formed, they had unity. And the Crips turned on each other and started killing each other. So every movement in Los Angeles eventually turned on each other and killed each other off. Every Black movement, and that ain't no coincidence to me.
Right.
Like when you had the Black Panthers, you had another group called the US organization. The FBI put the US organization and the Panthers against each other. So when the Panthers got destroyed, we'll come with Crips and Bloods, which is more division. But the difference with the US and the Panthers, they were like more on some militant positive shit. But they was like, you know what? And the crazy part about it is they put 2 conscious Black groups against each other and had them fighting each other like they were street gangs. And this is all done by the FBI. This was all done by the FBI.
Yes, by the FBI. And look, bring it back to Chicago, and people think just who Larry Hoover got shipped to Colorado. No. Look at Lord Gino from Latter King got shipped to Colorado. I ain't talking about Colorado. You got King Tuppy from the Spanish Cobras got shipped to New Jersey. They switched to the New Jersey leader that from New York to Chicago, to Pontiac, Illinois. They switched leaders. They switched New York leaders to Illinois prison system.
Wow, that's crazy.
You know, it wasn't just Hoover. You know?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's it's deep, man. And you know, I want to share that history, man. And you know, a lot of brothers want to know that Chicago history. And you know, you my brother, my brother your age. My brother is the same age as you, man. And you know, he be talking about a lot of LA politics, and you can break down some of that, you know, the Chicago stuff, man. Because like you said, once upon a time, brothers were organized and militant. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know, yeah, man. But I don't see the community getting no better until the culture change. And like I said, I don't aim to change the Black community. I aim to reach the like-minded individuals. That's it. You know what I mean? I can't perform miracles, but I can reach the people that are reachable. You know what I mean? But I can't perform miracles.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
All right,
but yeah, bro. I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I'm gonna make this run so I can, you know.
Hey, Ray, you know, I respect you, man. Like I said, I've been following you for 5 years, man. And you keep doing what you're doing, brother. We gonna link up, man. You know.
Yeah. We definitely gonna link up and you know, matter of fact, you know, maybe, man. I'll say like, whenever I have something, man, you know, we can definitely go in, man, because, you know, we definitely can relate. We definitely can relate. And the conversation is going to flow, man. And I believe they love it. Like, we go in depth about the history, about how we were once organized as people and how we got to where we at today. I really want to talk about that from the LA perspective and the Chicago perspective. You know what I mean? I think that'd be dope. The people going to love it.
And I can bring you some stuff that happened outside Chicago. You got Northwest Indiana. You got Gary, Indiana. It's like 30 minutes from Chicago. And you got Wisconsin right here. Oh, man, I can spit some stuff to you on that.
Okay. Hey, man, I can't wait. Matter of fact,
you heard that what's that song, DJ Quick? San Antonio is just like Compton. Man, when I heard that song, I was like, Milwaukee is just like Chicago. Gary's like a little Chicago, man.
Like everybody, a little Chicago. Yeah, because I noticed, you know what happened? Chicago did the same thing LA did. Chicago went and turned out all those surrounding little cities and have them banged out. GD everywhere. Same thing LA did. Turned out all them little surrounding cities outside of LA. Yeah, turned them out.
And in 92, when the Crips and Bloods united, doing that Rodney King right, the word got to Larry Hoover, and we had to wear that pin and all the Black gangs united, and they told us anybody break that peace tree would get a death violation. So we had Vice Lord Stones walking through us, and we look and believe it or not, I seen someone brought that peace tree and they had to shoot him at a meeting. I seen that. I mean, it spread on to Chicago. I'll tell you more about that. It spread right there. The Latino gangs wasn't having it. The Somerset Royals were having it. They said, you know what? But they respect our hood. They weren't banging our hood. You do it in your own hood. But the Black gang were more like organized during that time. So LA did rub off. I mean, we had the buttons. I got to show you them buttons. It said United People, the GDs, BDs, the Black Souls, the Mickey Cobras, and it was a button we had.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll definitely chop it up about that one, man. You know, some history, man. We'll definitely bring some history, you know, to the people, man. You know, some urban street lessons, man, coming up, man. And we'll drop it, man. I'm gonna get up out of here though, brother. I appreciate you for having me on tonight, man.
Good time, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I'll send you an email, man, and we'll link back up in another week.
Yes. Let's link back up, brother. Thanks, brother.
All right, brother. I appreciate you for having me, man. Have a nice one.
All right, holla.
Peace.
Peace.